Schallhorn. Thanks for agreeing to share some insight regarding inclusivity in our community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so the first question I have for you is, how can students create a safe and supportive environment for peers to talk about mental health?
One of the biggest things I suspect is the acceptance that mental health and mental illness are issues that we all deal with in some way, shape, or form. And that because we all deal with it, it will help us if we all understand more. And when we're more understanding, we have a tendency to be more patient and more understanding with people who are going through the challenges of mental illness.
Yeah, definitely. So how do you think that students can create a safe and supportive environment for peers to talk about their mental health?
First is to stop being so darn sarcastic. Sarcasm, it's a quick, easy way to be funny, or at least potentially be funny, but it hurts a lot of people that don't necessarily say anything about it. You can actually lose friendships by being insensitive and not and trying to be funny by being sarcastic, and then people who notice this is like, oh, so this person I cannot be safe around, or I cannot be me around. And so being less unkind and more kind, and that's a person looking into themselves to see who they are and being honest with themselves and being willing to grow.
Yeah, for sure. So like on a broader scale, how can schools foster a culture of inclusivity and acceptance around mental health discussions?
The first thing is deal with it. A lot of schools are in denial about mental health issues and stress issues and anxiety issues and depression issues. A lot of schools are in denial about it. One of the things that we're really good at is we have some great counselors, and they've put together a lot of resources on the counseling on the webpage. And so they're out there, they're acknowledging it. We have some of our advisory lessons related to mental health. And so just having it out there and making it a part of everyday life, because mental health and mental illness are a part of everyday life. And once we become more expecting that to be in our conversation, the better we can be as humans in reacting to it.
So I'm going to be going back to talking about students, but how do you think students can address stigma about mental health in their communities?
Stigma is huge, but it much like dealing with bullying, it's when you hear people who are not being kind about it, speak up. Be a part of the conversation of saying, hey, it's not cool to talk about depression this way. It's not cool to talk about anxiety this way. Let's try to understand it and be supportive rather than just putting people down or saying unkind things.
Yeah, for sure. So what are some daily practices that students can adopt to improve their mental health?
Oh, there are so many things. The first one is to, and it's a lifestyle set of choices. It's eating well. So a diet of all talkies is not going to be helpful. So eating well, getting some exercise, walking around campus is great. More than that though, getting enough sleep, actually using your time wisely. Those things right there, and then of course not smoking, not vaping, not doing drugs. All of those things help reduce the stress and or the vulnerability to stress.
Right.
Because stress vulnerability is one of those things where we all get stressed out, but some of us seem to handle it better than others. Learning what we are doing, not necessarily consciously about stress, and then taking some steps that work for us as individuals, whether it's meditating, whether it's exercising, whatever the technique is. Everybody has to find out what works for them, not just what one person says you must do.
Paragraph is good. You just use the
Not everything works for everybody. It's not one size fits all.
Yeah, for sure. So are there any specific resources or tools that you would recommend for students to manage the stress or anxiety they may be facing?
First, check out the school counselor website. They have some great resources that are on there. The second would be to check out a website called Active Minds, and we actually have a chapter here on campus, and it's another source of good, helpful, professional information, not just someone on TikTok says, hey, try this, and then another would just be open and willing to change. those are the big things. Plus, I have a great bookshelf of resources as well.
Thank you for sharing. And just two more questions. So, how can students leverage social media or technology positively for mental health advocacy?
Very similar with like handling the bullying. Speak up when people are not being cool. Try not to be a troll online, and call people out and just say, hey, don't engage with the troll, because they're looking for responses. They're looking for that. And the thing about trolls is they have their own psychological issues when they're not dealing with them.
Yeah.
And that's why they're so angry at the world. And so just kind of figure out what it is that's going on, and if you need help, ask for help. And that's big for anything and everything. When things are not going your way and you're having difficulties, find someone find an adult you trust. Could be a teacher, could be a religious leader, could be an administrator, could be a counselor. Find an adult you trust and talk with them. Get it out.
Yeah.
Don't bottle it up.
Yeah, that makes sense. And our last question to you is, with finals week approaching, do you have any tips for students? What they should be practicing?
Oh my gosh. Academic tips. There are a number of them, but overlearn things. There's a website called The Learning Scientists that we talk about in AP Psych. And the Learning Scientists have 6 proven techniques on how to study and be prepared for exams. And so if students will go there and use retrieval practice and space practice, etc., they will be better prepared for their final exams.
Okay, yeah, that's about it for our questions.
Okay.
And on behalf of the team of Inclusivity Menu, thank you for speaking with us.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.